Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the BBSim and Scalability Brigade for September 24th, 2020. We don't have a real agenda for the day, but the effort in the last couple of weeks has been on debugging issues on the scale test for Turk Telecom. In particular, the piece of the test that was failing was the DHCP allocation. So we started doing some investigation, and we found out that basically ONOS was delaying the packet processing. So if you took a look at this TCP dump, we can see that we received the first DHCP discovery for one new at 23, 22, and 30 seconds. And then ONOS sends the corresponding packet out toward the DHCP server only 7 seconds later. And this delay just augment for all the other packets. So the DHCP state machine in BBSim was actually timing out, preventing the test from succeeding. Long story short, we found out that the MAC-learned packet processing pipeline was delaying the packets by a lot. So we shut down that application for now, since we are not actually using it. And we also realized that ONOS was basically running on a single core because of one missing option in the container JVM. And then Andrea was saying that yesterday we had, yesterday meaning tonight in the European time zone, we had 4 successful run back-to-back. Do you want to share how we get there, Andrea?
Yeah, sure. Do you mind if I take over the screen, Theo?
All yours.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Yes, this one. Okay. So as Matteo was saying, it was actually not actually last night, but it was today. We got 249, which was successful. 254 and 255 under 10 minutes were successful. But if you look closely, even 250 and, if I'm not mistaken, 252 were actually successful, just right a little bit above the 10-minute here. So how did we get there was precisely fixing some of the things that Matteo discussed. So the first one that we did was moving the DHCP L2 relay application to an executor. And you can see that one here as a patch that's yet to be merged, but it is running in those tests. And we add a packet processor executor here. But most importantly, we needed the Java option parameter. And for that, we needed to change the Helm charts to pass the Java options parameter. Specifically, the parameter that was needed was this one, the use container support. What this tells the JVM is that it needs to not look at it needs to pass through the request apparently of how many cores the machine has, not the container. That doesn't hide it behind the containers. So with that, we're actually using all the cores that the machine provides. And that was needed both in Atomics and in ONOS. So with that patch, with these things in, so this one is for ONOS, but we needed to do it also for Atomics. And it's the same one. If we go actually to the 4th thing here, is actually Atomics. We need to bring back this one. There was a change needed in Atomics to update the Java image, but long story short, there's a Helm chart pull request from myself on ONOS, and a Helm chart pull request from Pierre for Atomics. And all of this included allowed us to basically have all the threads we needed in both Onus and Atomics to get to a successful 4-15-minute run for everything, meaning from the start of the discovery of the ports of the OLT to the successful IP assignment to all the subscriber and actually all the services within the Turk Telecom workflow. And you can see this one here in particular. And we're looking at 1,024 addresses in here.
It's pretty cool.
And if you look at here, it says 1,024, and the expected is 1,024. So it passes, and it takes a little bit of time because some of the first requests do not pass, but because it takes a little bit still to process all these packets. But I think that 4 minutes 15 seconds is a pretty good time, and it's also been done in less. There's a little variability in there, but I don't think it's tremendously important. There were also changes in BBSim. Sorry, Matteo, I cut you off. So there were also changes in BBSim to achieve this.
So if you look in the plots, you can see the average time that it takes.
Yes.
Well, not that one. If you go on Volta scale measurement, if you click on the job name, no, not the single job. The
oh, sorry. Yeah, yes.
And then you have the plots right there, so we can see that when it succeeds is generally less than 200 seconds. That is, I will say, very good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Because we arrive at a certain point that if some packets times out, BBSim doesn't automatically retry. And so it doesn't matter how long you wait. You'll just be sitting there waiting for packets that will never arrive. So it will either succeed very quickly or fail.
Yeah, 256 might have an issue. Today, I've seen on this particular pod, I've seen sometimes this error, which I don't know exactly what it is. So we need to investigate that. But apparently this one failed. But with this error, I honestly don't know what that can happen. So I think there still needs some investigation exactly in a few places, but we are very, very close to getting it running consistently.
Yeah, I think I agree, we made very good progress in the last few days. Even though we had some issues with the infrastructure itself, because yesterday we had issues with Gerrit that delayed all the cherry picks we were doing for this test. And the day before, basically the internet went down in the lab, so we had been cut off for a little time. And that error that Jenkins cannot reach the agent may be related to something with the internet connection. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. But that's pretty much where we are. Does anyone have any question?
Just a doubt. So you're exposing all the cores to the container, so that doesn't mean it'll use, because there are other containers too who are using those CPU resources.
Yeah, that's correct. If we see an issue with Onos picking up too many CPUs, we'll probably end up setting up a resource constraint in Kubernetes, so it can have access only to a certain amount of them. But maybe one thing that we want to consider doing for the future, because I believe the two most resource-hungry containers are Onos and the core. So we may want to set a constraint in the future so that they are deployed on two different nodes in the cluster.
Well, Onos is deployed on 3 nodes, so.
Yeah, but the busiest one is the master of the device.
Well, but that can change.
That can change, and that is impossible to know upfront. Good point.
Yes.
No, again, it depends on how many devices you have. I mean, not all of
There's many things in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Andrea, you said that you closed the McLearner applications. So is it correct? So the latest tests are done without McLearner application?
Yes, that is correct. We have removed it from basically the Volta Onus image for now, because it's not yet actually active by any means, because there was it is not tied to the OLT app. The work is still ongoing. The app is not actually completely finished because there still needs some changes, as we know. I'm working with Tuhan and the other folks. So we just said, why keep it for now? And what this does is that it allows us to get to the scale objective and know the system is in a good state. And then whenever we reintroduce this app, or whatever app for that matter, we can actually see if it fails and that app needs to change. And so basically we start from a good basis, and any introduction can be based upon a passing the test. And if that introduction fails the test, it means that patch, that app, or that something needs to be fixed.
Okay, fair.
Do we know something more on what exactly was the problem in the McLearner app, or that's we postponed the investigation?
I was about to ask. I was about to say I did not spend any time investigating it. That's something that I wanted to do. It's just that getting this to run was more urgent, so I have not spent any time on that. But let me put it in my backlog, and I'll try to do it as soon as I can.
Yeah, I think we can do this once we got the test to work consistently.
So there's again still a few things that need to be merged to get this working on master without custom images, but we plan to do this in the upcoming days.
Okay.
And sorry guys, Andrea or Matteo, could you please send this patch you uploaded for this issue, for Onus issue? Can you send them by email or write them to the meeting notes?
Yeah, I'll send them over the mailing list together with the video.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yeah, consider that really there was nothing wrong in Onus per se. It was just that we were overriding the Java options. So the DHCP L2 relay app needed changing with an executor, but the Onus core actually did not. I do have a very small patch on the Onus core, which is this one, but it's just some logging that was needed for debugging and a minor optimization, but it's just logging. So this will go into the Onus core, but the Onus core per se did not really have any issues when we happened to give him the right resources to live with. But yep, I think I can send all the links to Matteo, and Matteo knows them already, so he can send out a report.
Yeah, it's basically 2 patches on the Onus and Atomic kernel charts and 1 patch in the DHCP relay allocation.
Yes, and the kind Volta.
And you need to override the values for Onus, not to check that the McLearner app is enabled.
What I need to do is I need to also to push another patch to kind Volta, because this one got merged. This one is the one for Onus with this flag.
Yeah, we need to bring back the one for Atomics.
I need to bring back precisely this thing, because right now we hard coded it into the chart that we are using for testing in the scale
pipeline. Yeah, sounds good.
I can create the patch right now.
Anything else we need to discuss? Okay, I'll take that as a no, and thanks everyone. I just wanted to say that I think we are in a very good position now with Volta and Onus, because basically the last few scale issues we have been investigated were not in Volta anymore. So I think we can claim that during the 2.5 time frame we did a 2.4, 2.5 time frame, we did a very good job in scaling up Volta core and adapters to get to these results. So thanks everyone for your efforts, and talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye bye.